I'm writing this before that thing gets here. I don't have much time. My name is Elian, and I'm not someone who usually shares paranormal stuff online, but what happened to me was too strange to keep to myself. I'm writing this to warn anyone who reads it not to make the same mistakes I did. A few days ago, my grandfather on his deathbed gave me a box with some of his belongings. Among gold, watches, money, and photos, there was something that really caught my attention. It was a Nintendo 64 cartridge that had nearly illegible red letters on it, clearly spelling out Parappa.Exe. On the back it said, "Danger, destroy at all costs. If you're reading this, do not play it, because it carries a messed up course that'll probably kill you. I don't burn it cause I already have it." But I didn't pay much attention to that and decided to put it into my old console, which miraculously still worked. When the game started, everything seemed normal at first, but the funny little dog character that was usually on the screen was missing, replaced by a hyper-realistic puddle of blood. I felt goosebumps on my spine, but I still pressed start. The first scene started as usual, in Chop Chop Master Onion's dojo, but something was different. The music wasn't the cheerful rap I remembered. It was a demonic distortion with screams echoing in the background. Master Onion was alone, crying what looked like blood, repeating the same words over and over. "I should have done it, I should have done it." Suddenly, the screen was filled with static, and a deafening sound echoed in my headphones. When the image came back, Chop Chop was dead, hanging from a noose, with a sign at his feet that said, "You can't escape your responsibilities." Parappa was nowhere to be seen, and the level ended on its own after it showed that I was rapping bad. In the second level, the instructor's card was stopped. At first, nothing seemed wrong, but then I noticed the card was smeared with blood, and the instructor was lying on the ground, barely alive, whispering, "It's your responsibility." At this point, I felt deeply disturbed, not just because I was seeing my childhood characters massacred, but also because I had the eerie sensation that someone was watching me from the shadows. I turned on the light because I was getting spooked. When I reached the chicken's level, the screen was just an empty black void, yet for some reason, I couldn't look away. It felt like it was judging me for every sin committed by me and my neighbor. The controller started shaking in my hands as if the game had a life of its own. Parappa appeared on the screen, but something was wrong. His figure was dark, distorted, and his eyes were empty holes that seemed to absorb everything around them. He didn't say the usual, "I gotta believe." Instead, he let out a guttural noise, and blood-red words appeared on the screen. "It's too late to fix it." The final level started without warning. Parappa was in an empty room with gray cement walls, and what looked like tax documents signed by a privately educated notary with a master's degree in laws scattered across the floor. The silence was unsettling, and suddenly the room's light began to flicker, revealing a figure in the shadows. It was a monstrous, grotesque, and disturbing version of the Joker. His shrill laughter echoed across the room as he slowly approached Parappa. At that moment, I realized this wasn't just a bad dream or a sick joke. His voice resonating in a way that made my heart pound. "Life is a game, you know, but some games have consequences, especially when you choose to avoid your fiscal responsibilities." Parappa tried to run, but every time he moved, the documents followed him like shadows. "You can try to run from many things, but never the IRS," he said with a creepy smile. The image froze. Parappa was surrounded by papers, and the Joker was looking at him with an air of superiority, or whatever the fuck that is called. Suddenly, blood-red letters appear on the screen. "No matter what you do, they'll always find you." The Joker turned toward the camera as if he could see me through the screen. "And you, are you up to date with your taxes?" he asked with a chilling smile. "Do you know how much you need to declare?" I didn't answer. Somehow, it felt that no matter what I said, it will be the wrong answer. Visibly annoyed, the Joker just grunted and the console exploded. I froze, unable to move or process what had just happened. In the days that followed, things only got worse. One night, as I lay in bed, I heard the worst thing yet, the familiar sound of the Joker's laugh. But this time, it wasn't coming from the console, it was coming from under my bed. Ever since then, I've been writing this post. hoping someone will read it and take my warning seriously. The feeling that Parappa.Exe is watching me has never gone away, and every time I hear a noise, I feel like that thing is getting closer.
Julian, go to sleep.
Okay, Mom. And post.